Whiteland Park neighborhood is about a 5-block radius, and in that space, Columbus police say for the first 5 months of 2009, reports of nonviolent crimes, 247. Reports of violent crimes in the Whiteland Park neighborhood, 79. Let me show you exactly what happened this morning. Police tell us that a van was parked right here in slot number 37 at the Club Ice. The suspect was inside of that van. When police approached him to try to break up a fight that he was involved in, the suspect backed out at a high rate of speed. You can see the tire tracks right here in the parking lot. Police say that Michael Harrington intentionally ran this police officer over. The big new worry tonight, investigators say these two wildfires may have been intentionally set. Firefighters really got a handle on this. It's mostly out here tonight. You can see where firefighters dug a line and were able to stop the flame where the black meets the green. This is all good news. But today, as the conditions were dry and ripe for wildfires, that meant bad news for anyone in the fire's path. 19 years ago, Officer Brian Smith took an oath to protect the peace and uphold the law, but tonight he's out of a police cruiser on desk detail. His badge and gun have been taken away, and he could be fired for possibly breaking the law. In this neighborhood, families expected to feel safe with a police officer living nearby.
We never thought they'd actually pull a gun out or anything, but he really did. And
Jessica Clark says that gun was pointed at her family.
I looked up and he seriously had a gun in the window, and my daughter was across the street, and I'm like, oh my gosh, he's really not just threatening.
After days of threats, Clark came armed herself with a video camera. Did you do anything to provoke this?
No, he's just drunk all the time.
The man in the video is Officer Brian Smith. He's a 19-year veteran of the Columbus Division of Police, now under internal investigation. Police say Smith's badge and gun were taken away because of repeated allegations against him. His fellow officers were called to his home twice on July 4th with reports he was tormenting his neighbors.
Went back to his house, stood out on the back porch, and started firing a gun.
We dug deeper and found that Smith is already under investigation for allegations of unbecoming conduct as a police officer, and last year he was disciplined for violating department rules. Police say Smith may be fired. We tried to speak with him at his home, but no one answered the door.
We're just innocent people over here trying to abide the law. He knows the law, so he's outsmarting us.
While the investigation continues, Clark and her family say they'll feel more safe by staying indoors. Jake Whittenberg, ABC 6, on your side. Gabe, 50-year-old Bob Wirtz is inside here at the hospital in fair condition. He was found behind a Reynoldsburg hardware store, beaten within an inch of his life. Tonight, police believe 2 young men may be responsible. Connell's Hardware Store in Reynoldsburg. It's a community gathering spot.
It's just an old-time hardware store.
Everyone is family.
We always have had a lot of people in and out.
But the aisles feel empty right now because a close friend is gone. It's a friendship that started one day when a polite, quiet homeless man walked in the front door.
The more he knew us, he would stay in longer, and we'd let him have a cup of coffee.
Soon, Bob Wirtz had his own place to call home in the back of the store.
He's just a fellow that everybody in the whole town knows who he is.
You see, every morning Bob would be waiting by the front door for the store to open. It was his daily routine for the last 25 years. But when managers found Bob on Monday in his sleeping bag, as always, he wasn't moving.
And I asked him, I said, what's happened to you, Bob? He said, I got beat up.
Someone attacked Wirtz in the middle of the night, breaking several bones in his face and leaving him for dead. Now, the community that got to know Bob raises money to help save the life of a friend they grew to love.
We just grabbed all the cash we had at home and ran right down here. To come to his aid and to do something for him is really important to us.
Well, I've had people come in and say, where's Bobby at?
For now, Bob's coffee cup sits empty and his blankets go unused.
Well, he'll be back.
But when the polite man on the street is able to return, his chair will be waiting for him at home. Police have no suspects tonight, and they're not saying much because this case is still under investigation. If you know anything, call police. In the video you'll only see on ABC 6, you can see the teammates were asked to hold hands and run around the gym as a form of punishment for fighting. One person can be heard taunting the boys using foul language.
As you see, 2
The coach behind the punishment is Gary Schaefer. He's been coaching at Washington High School since 1967. We attempted to contact Schaefer at his home.
Don't even come up here because I don't want to talk to you.
Just want to see if Coach Schaefer is available to talk to.
Sorry.
We were told no comment and asked to leave.
This community is very respectful of Gary. He's a high ethical person.
Athletic director and friend of Coach Schaefer, Steve Mowry, says the punishment was not intended to be degrading to the boys.
He taught them basketball, but he also taught them things about life. And to me, that would be the greatest gift any young man could get.
Do you see anything wrong with kids being forced to run around holding hands in a gym?
No, I don't.
Superintendent Keith Brown says no rules or district policies were broken. ABC6 contacted one of the boys holding hands. He says the punishment made him feel uncomfortable.
I can tell you, based upon the feedback from those two students, that neither one of those students expressed that to their parents or the coach. He builds people.
Gary Schaefer coached the debut game in this high school gymnasium in 1967. He was also inducted into the Ohio High School Coaches Hall of Fame. Many in Washington Courthouse see him as a community hero.
I knew that Coach had done this the next day, and I was okay with it. I understood what he was trying to get across to the kids.
Although the video may be controversial, the school district considers the issue a thing of the past. The athletic director says whoever was heard yelling foul language in that video may face disciplinary action. Joyce and Jerry Hunt say they had good intentions.
That said the usual things that toys say.
They bought the Record and Play phone center as a gift for their granddaughter and 5-year-old niece.
I was shocked.
When they brought the wide-eyed Elmo into their home, they couldn't believe what they thought he said.
Who wants to have sex?
Who wants to have sex?
My niece looked at me and Jerry looked at and we kind of like,
Who wants to have sex?
Whoever's working the quality control in the company, you know, that's maybe at the end of the assembly line, didn't do their job.
After calling Fisher-Price, the Hunts received an apology and an offer for a full refund. ABC6 also called the company and found out Joyce was not the only person to complain about Elmo's borderline potty mouth. Fisher-Price says Elmo clearly says 4, 5, 6. Fisher-Price also tells us we carefully write, review, and record songs and lyrics for our toys to ensure they are suitable for children. We stand by the product. We put their claim to the test.
Are you kidding me?
This is a kid's toy.
Why is this for kids? This is really shocking.
4 or 5 because it's completely lost.
That's what it sounds like to me.
And it's obvious.
The Hunts don't want other families getting caught by surprise. Wow.
I just feel like other parents and other grandparents should be aware to check the toys like this before they hand them over to children.
For now, Elmo sits without batteries. ABC6 is on your side. If you've purchased the toy, Fisher-Price says they have no plans for a recall, but if you have any questions about the Record and Play phone center, Fisher-Price says give them a call.